I've got about 10 questions for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Since I'm kind of new to your music, and you're from the Pacific Northwest up in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, explain the name Underride first.
Well, the name is derived from the 50s high school driver's ed films that were pretty graphic, and yeah, I think you can still see them online and stuff like on YouTube. But there was one that was called Horsepower Kills, which was the name of our first record a long time ago, and Underride is one of the scenes in there where a car slams into the back of a semi and decapitates everybody in the car. So even though we're not really a metal band or anything like that, we kind of thought that would be fun and different for a name, you know?
Kind of radical, huh? Radical idea.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're from up in Seattle, like you said, in the Pacific Northwest, and wow, you're really big up there from what I can tell. And now you're out on the road with Tantric. And so what's the reception been to your music as you're moving around the country?
It's been real good. We're the opening band on the package, so for the folks who show up early, they get a little extra treat. So far, it's been great. Our social media's been blowing up. We've been making lots of new friends, and I think here in like the Midwest, we started in Florida and we've kind of come up the East Coast, and we did Michigan, 2 shows in Michigan the last couple nights, and we're here in Dayton today. It's kind of I think a good fit for our brand of just straight up rock and roll, because that's what we do. It's just meat and potatoes rock and roll, and it seems like the Midwest is the right place to be for it.
Yeah, you're really getting out there. I just saw that a local station, Joplin 107, picked up your single "Blinded by You," and they're playing it now. So
yeah,
that's awesome. So now you can get some coverage here in the Midwest, so maybe people can get turned on to your music here instead of just up north, huh?
Exactly. Yep, we're getting a lot of good support with internet radio and some of the smaller stations too that have already picked up some of the record. And we've got folks over at New Ocean Media and Radio Contraband that are helping us kind of get the record out as much as we can, so people can hear it. It's a pretty good record. We're real happy with how it came out. We're proud of it. And it deserves to be heard by rock and roll fans, across the fruited plains.
Yeah, I've been listening to it, and I was really impressed. You've got some really rich, deep vocals, and the guys are really ripping it on the guitars on here. There's some hardcore drums. So how'd that all come together? How'd these guys all come together?
Well, the band had been around for a little while and released a record in 2008 called One of Us, and we thought that was a pretty good record, and so Bart and I wanted to take it out on the road, and a couple of guys that were in the band wanted to just stay kind of regional and local, so they ended up leaving the band, and we brought in Princess. He was in another band in town that we played with called Love on the Rocks, and we just had to really like his stuff. He was a friend of ours, and so when the other 2 guys left, I asked Princess to join the band, and he did. He came in and started writing with us, and then Suzuki Sixx came in when his band went belly up in Tacoma, and we had played some shows with them, and he ran into El Barto at a mall, and Bart was like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And he said, "Hey, I'm a free agent right now," so we picked up Suzuki Sixx and added him to the lineup, and wrote Distorted Nation, and put that record out, at the beginning of this year, and then re-released it again a couple months ago.
Yeah, it seems like a really great fit right now. And you kind of already did this, but my question was going to be, next one was describe your music. And you've been described, everything I'm reading is like alternative to rock, but you kind of just described it as a meat and potatoes rock, and that's kind of how I saw it after listening to it. So is there anything else you want people to know about your music, or to pull people in? What would you want to tell them?
I think what's cool about it is, I think we're using a lot of, I love looking at the reviews, that come in, because everybody tries to pigeonhole the band.
Yeah.
Really, you can't. You really can't. I've heard everything from the Beach Boys to
wow.
Like, what the heck? So, that's the thing that's cool about it. We're using a lot of the classic, elements of rock and roll, which, guitars, drums, vocals, and songs that are, a couple minutes in length, tell a story, and have a ripping solo somewhere in the middle. So, as far as that goes, we're not rewriting or creating some new genre, but what we have been able to do is create a new sound in active rock. So I think the most interesting thing that I would try to kind of impress upon people who are considering checking out the band is to, give us a spin, because I think we do sound different than anything else that's out there kind of in the active rock charts. We follow all those bands, that are in the top 100, and a lot of them do sound similar, and I think, we don't. And so if you like straight up hard rock and you want to hear a band that sounds a little bit different and is a little bit original, I would say check out Distorted Nation.
Yeah, there's some really unique stuff on here. One of them was your cover of Lady Gaga's Paparazzi. Boy, that got a lot of attention from what I'm reading and what I'm listening to on here. And so where'd that idea come from? Whose idea was it to do that?
Well, we're in general, we're just really big Lady Gaga fans.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to her show in Tacoma at the Tacoma Dome, and it was the best rock concert that I've been to in years. It was a show, there was a vibe, people were like partying and all dressed up, and she had just this awesome stage with fire and lights and explosion. Everything that you want when you go see a rock show, right? And so we started listening to her albums, and Barto was like, "Hey, we should do a Lady Gaga cover," and it was like we should either do Paparazzi or hell, I can't remember what the name of the other one was, Poker Face, I think.
Yeah.
So I said, "Yeah, let's give it a shot." And like two days later, both him and Princess showed up with a rearrangement of Paparazzi, and they were both really cool.
Yeah, it is.
I jumped up on the drums, and we combined both of those versions that they came up with into the one that's on the record.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I was wondering how that came about. So tell me about this tour. Tell me about your favorite moment on the tour so far, because it looks like you're kind of winding down towards the end of it. You still got quite a few dates to play, but have you had a favorite moment on this specific tour?
Well, I was surprised when we went down to West Virginia. We played down there at Yellowbeards, and it's this big rock shed right down by the river,
Uh-huh.
And there's a local radio station there, The Bear, that is pretty active in promoting rock bands and stuff. And we got there and we pulled up, and first of all, the venue was like this really cool, like half outdoor shed,
yeah,
with this massive stage and PA system, and so of course we were excited right away because of that, And then we're in there doing sound check, and they kind of stage all the people in like bar area, and then like when the doors opened for the live venue, these people just came storming in.
Wow.
We were really excited to play in front of, it was like 300 or 400, crazy kids, and they just came right up to the stage, and boom, we fired it up, and as soon as, they got a taste of the Underride, it was, game on.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you're having some fun out there. You talked about, I was reading some of your reviews and press kit, and you spoke about bringing rock back. Can you explain that a little bit more to me? Why you think rock's dying or kind of fading, I guess was your words, and so what you guys want for rock?
Well, I think that it feels like it's kind of gone underground now. It's like you don't really hear a lot of rock and roll on radio that much, but there's still pockets of it,
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like it's kind of moved, like you either have rap or you have pop like Lady Gaga, or you have like metal, true metal, like really not hard rock. And so I think that that hard rock, melodic rock genre seems to be slipping away a little bit, and I think some of it has to do with just entertainment value and show, and that's what we try to do, with our music. We try to put, the best album we could, but when we take it out on the road like we are now, and we do it live, we really try to give the folks, 25 minutes of, straight up in your face entertainment. And so I think we're trying to put the show back in rock and roll, and kind of make it fun so that people can go to a rock show and have a good time, because, it's full of enough sadness as it is, and lots of bills to pay. So when you come to a rock show, it as like escapism, you know?
Yeah, awesome. Just a great night out, and have fun, and not so didn't have to be so deep, huh?
Right. Yeah, none of our stuff is really that serious. A lot of the show is tongue-in-cheek, too. There's a lot of joking around and fun stuff like that. And some of the people, I can see it in their faces, like the first couple of songs when we're joking around on stage, they're not really sure how to take it. But then, once it goes on further, then they catch on right away and really enjoy it and have a good time with it.
That's great. Hey, off Distorted Nation, I was just wondering, which song really gets you the most? Which one do you really get into?
Wow, I'll tell you, it's tough because I like them all. That's
Sure.
why they're on there. All those songs are really exciting.
Yeah, it's like having a favorite kid or something, or dog or something. I guess you like them all.
It is. It's pretty tough. I think, one of my favorite ones, though, is probably Say Goodbye to Everything That's Gone, because it's really, like, in your face, and it's up-tempo, and it's kind of got, like, some punk rock elements to it where it's, it's a little bit shouty and stuff like that. And so I think, like, that one is probably the most fun to play live because it gets the crowd going. And
yeah, that's got some awesome...
We end the show with that song, too, so it's real fun.
Oh, do you guys want... That's got some awesome music in it. I really like that. So who are you listening to right now? Who besides Lady Gaga?
Well, we were listening to the bands that we're on tour with. Handmade Machine is out of Arizona, and they're a great band. We were just listening to their record yesterday. We got a copy of it from them. And then a couple days ago, before the band from Queens, New York, Eve to Adam, we were listening to spinning their rock record. So we're actually listening to the guys that we're playing with, and we got really lucky too because they're, we're on tour with these bands and they're really nice guys. So like even on our day off, we're still hanging out with them, going to the bars and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
So you're having fun, yeah. What's your dream tour lineup?
Well, if I was on tour, I don't know, I probably wouldn't mind, doing a show sandwiched in between Lady Gaga and maybe Van Halen.
That's pretty awesome. That would be cool, huh? That is cool. Yeah. That's a pretty good one. I like that. Have you ever been to Oklahoma before?
I used to live in Oklahoma, actually.
No kidding. Where at?
I lived on Lake Hefner in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Wow. So that's not your hometown or anything, is it?
No, it's not my hometown, but I was there for about 10 months, and what I remember was awfully fun. There were a lot of barbecues, poolside, and a lot of drinking alcohol because they have high beer and they sell it in the grocery stores too. So I remember moving there thinking, this is awesome. You can walk into a grocery store and buy like 9% alcohol beer, and instead of having to drink a whole case, you could just drink 6 and be wasted.
So do you remember Oklahoma, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Not ever been to Oklahoma.
It was fun, yeah. I enjoyed Oklahoma. The people there were really cool. We used to drive down to Dallas and party in Dallas all the time, too.
Yeah, that happens. Okay, so one more question, and then I'll let you go, and I appreciate your time. You guys have been great setting up the interview kind of last minute, but what's next for Underride?
Well, what we're looking to do is we're actually talking to some folks right now about getting the band back on the road in January. So there's a couple other bands that we played with before that are getting ready to launch records and go out on tour. So we're hoping to be back out like early January, just supporting our record and pushing Distorted Nation out there to the Distorted Nation and the rock fans all over the U.S.
Yeah, so you're going to keep the momentum going, right, from this tour?
Yeah, we're going to try to keep it going, man. We're going to keep it going. It's a brand new record until everybody has heard it, right? So there's a lot of people that haven't heard it, and we're just going to keep going until we reach them all.
Get it out there. Hey, Rev, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time, and enjoy the tour, and look forward to seeing you here at Buffalo Run.
Yeah, I really do appreciate your time as well, Melinda. Thanks for taking the time to check out the band and putting us out there in front of your peeps. We really appreciate it, and it means a lot to us because, at our level, any chance we can get to talk about our music and get it out in front of new fans, that's the whole reason why we do it. So I appreciate you facilitating that for us.
No problem. Thank you very much.